What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the Juno channel, a virtual place for the young and young at hearts. And you're with me, Juno D. Today's episode is a very special one and very close to my heart because we're going to talk about books and reading. And because we're in celebration of the 87th Book Week and Reading Month as well, I think it's fitting to make this kind of content. But before anything else, disclaimer lang guys, this is not really a book recommendation video, although we will be featuring some books later, but this is more of a reading motivation video. Yes, because I've been observing that people or young people nowadays, parang hindi na talaga nabibigyan ng emphasis yung reading because of, this era of social media and modern entertainment. People are more likely inclined to watching videos. So I think I'd like this video to be more of that, like reading for understanding and also reading to change our mindsets and our lives. And because this is a special episode, I invited a book lover and a wide reader as well. She is an English teacher by profession. She's teaching for 6 years now, active coordinator of the Disaster Risk Reduction Management, and also a reading coordinator of the BSPC, or Bourbon School for Philippine Craftsmen. So without further delay, may we have on the show, Ma'am Pamela Quiñones Balatico. There you have it, guys. Ma'am, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, it's an opportunity. Thank you for sharing your time, and it's an honor to have you here. So, ma'am, we are now in this book week, the 87th Book Week and Reading Month as well. So, we'll be talking about books and reading. So, I'm sure, ma'am, we'd love to hear what is your favorite book and also anything more that, encourages people to read. So, ma'am, we want to know what inspired you to read?
Well, at first it was boredom. Because when I was in college, I used to live with my aunt who owns a library at home. And when I'm at home, I would scan her books because she has plenty. Like, she has a collection of Reader's Digest from 1920s up to the present, many other books, detective stories, romances, inspirational, spiritual. She has it. And it all started there.
Okay. So from that wide array of books, how did you find your genre or your taste when it comes to reading books?
Well, I don't really have a particular genre because I read just about anything. Especially if the plot is interesting, I would read it.
Ma'am, from there, can you tell us any book or what is your favorite book that really inspired you or make a change in your life?
Well, I have a lot of favorites, but there is one particular book by Dr. Johnson Spencer entitled Who Moved My Cheese? It's a very beautiful story. It's actually a simple parable, but it reveals a profound truth about life. The story is about the 4 characters, the mice and the little people who lives in a maze and who looks for cheese.
Wow, I like the symbolism, guys, Don't you think it's interesting? And so, ma'am, is this book like a kind of a children's book or for an adult's book?
I think the book is for everybody.
Oh.
It can give lessons to children because children will also have to deal with changes, And this is also good for us adults, especially those who work, because this is a very competitive world that we are in right now. So the story is about change and how to deal with it. You'll be able to learn a lot of things and on how are you going to deal with the changes, because change will inevitably come. As they say, change is the only permanent thing in the world, so we better have to prepare for it.
Definitely, guys, as we can observe, change is really unpredictable and we have to embrace it, right? So I really like this. Who Moved My Cheese, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, ma'am, other than Who Moved My Cheese, do you have any other book that inspired you?
Well, recently I have read the story of Princess Diana. This is entitled Diana, the People's Princess. Very inspiring book because it tells the story of Princess Diana. Of course, we all know Princess Diana and how she lived her life. So there are a lot of lessons that we can get from her.
Thank you, ma'am, for those books that you have shared to us. So I want to ask as well, how do you find that energy, that motivation to really read a book? Because ma'am, people get tired from their work, from their studies, and from any other thing. So when that tiredness sinks in, how do you still find the drive to open a book and read?
That's true, no, Juno. We live in a very stressful world, especially with all the things that are going on right now. Because when you read book, you are transported to another world. So, temporarily, nakakalimutan mo yung mga problema and all the stresses. So, basically, it's the stress that motivates me to read.
Yeah, and I like that word, transport into another world. That's true, right? Yeah, so, basically, when we read then kasi, we turn our focus into what we are reading, and that is where we get distressed. And ma'am, another thing I'd like to ask as well, how is reading important nowadays in this era of social media and fake news? Is reading still important?
Of course, reading is important all the time, but it is more so now. Especially now that we live in a very competitive world.
Yes, that's
Competition is more than ever, so you have to read. But you have to be very careful also of what you read, especially those that we see in the social media. While social media is a blessing, it is also a curse at the same time. Although we get a lot of information from the social media, not all of them is true. Like there are fake news everywhere, so we have to weigh what we read. Do not believe right away. Check it. Verify the information if it's true. Information can grow exponentially, which is very dangerous, especially if that information is not true. It can damage a person's reputation. It can damage the minds of young children. Oftentimes it becomes out of control that whatever you said in the social media, you cannot recall it anymore.
Is true. And I like the thought, guys, that when you read, you just don't read, you also understand what you're reading. Like, really comprehend and consider second guessing first before you believe a certain article or a certain book. So, especially nowadays, right,
Yes.
ma'am? Social media and fake news is quite alarming. So, ma'am, before we end this short and casual interview, do you have any message or any inspirational advice to our viewers who are also thinking what to read and how to really read a book?
My message is for you to read and read and read, because reading is very important. It will give us an advantage compared to those who do not read. When you read, of course, you get a lot of information, you get a lot of knowledge, and you develop skills that you will not be able to get if you not read. So, yun lang, continue to read because we live in a very competitive world. If you know more than the others, then you are at an advantage because our society looks for those who can be useful to them. So, you can only be useful if you know a lot of things. And you will know a lot of things by reading. That's it.
Okay, wow, that was so impactful. Once again, thank you, ma'am, for that very inspiring advice. And thank you for being here in this show. I'm sure our viewers will get a lot from your sharings.
Thank you, Juno, also for inviting me and for giving me the opportunity to share to them my favorite books.
Yeah. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you.
And of course, this show won't end, guys, without me telling you about my own personal picks when it comes to books. First, we have this recent book that I've just read, which is entitled The Subtle Art of Not Giving an F. Okay, I don't really like to mention the word in this video, but you can see it in the screen. So yes, It's written by Mark Manson. I like this author a lot because he is so realistic, you know? Like, the book is written as if you're talking to the author in a casual conversation, and all of the content there is unfiltered, but I can assure you guys, it has a lot of sense and you can get a lot of value from it. Really. So one of the things that I learned, or maybe the quotable quotes na lang, mag-share na lang ako. I wrote it on my journal actually. We don't always control what happens to us, but we always control how we interpret what happens to us as well as how we respond. Nice, right? And aside from that, eto pa. We are defined by what we choose to reject. And if we reject nothing, perhaps in fear of being rejected by something ourselves, we essentially have no identity at all. Wow! Guys, sobrang powerful. And another book is Atomic Habits. This is quite popular nowadays. The author is James Clear. He's also a speaker, but he focuses more on habits formation, and, you know, self-improvement, mga ganon. So what I like about this book is that it tells you about what habits do you need to form for you to have this self-improvement. Sabi dun sa Atomic Habits, when you can't win by being better, you can win by being different. By combining your skills, you reduce the level of competition, which make it easier to stand out. Wow, that's good, huh? I like that. And another thing, success is not a goal to reach or a finish line to cross. It is a system to improve, an endless process to refine. Wow! Boom! I get it. If you get it, I get it too. So there you have it, guys. Those are the books that I've just read recently, and guys, they're really impactful. And for those naman na nahihirapan talagang magsimula magbasa ng libro, yes, I understand you. Kahit hindi kayo magbasa ng libro for now, start by reading short articles or short stories, and from there, it can be a milestone. So guys, don't give up and start reading now. As in now. And last but not the least, I'd like to feature this book. The title is Siberian Bird by Abdus Sabur. This is a poetry book. This is a poetry book, so it includes poems about religion, culture, society, and personal experiences of the author. So this book is very special to me because it was given to me personally by the author when I went to Thailand last March 2020. So talagang binigay niya to sa akin, and look, oh, meron pang signature. There you have it. But I call him Brother Sabur because he is a really generous guy, and I consider him as a friend, and he's really, you know, comfortable to talk with. He likes talking. So shout out to Brother Sabur and all of my friends that I made in Thailand. Hello to you guys. Hope I can see you again soon. So there you have it, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in into this episode of the Juno channel. I hope na marami kayong natutunan, and I hope na encourage ko kayo to read and, you know, keep on improving ourselves, because improvement is one of our goals here in the Juno channel. So thank you so much, guys. Let me leave you a quote from Steve Kaufman, which says, "Reading is a phenomenal technology." See you on the next episode. Bye-bye!